What's up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode with your two favorite knuckleheads. I'm Boomer.
And I'm Junior.
Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode. We got a lot to talk about this week, but first, Saki, cover the weekend, pal. What are the highlights? What'd you get up to?
Weekend was good. Went out with some friends. It was our final time to kind of do a night out here in San Diego. We're skiing next weekend
Nice.
and going home for the holidays and stuff. So it was a good kind of final time to socialize and stuff.
Nice.
It was good. Got some good dancing and everything. Yeah, good vibes. How about you, Nick? How was your weekend?
Dude, it was great. Got to celebrate. We had some holiday parties down here in Dallas, both friends and not friends, and so got some good quality time with some people, hung out, enjoyed some sports, enjoyed some not other sports things that I'm foreshadowing right now. But having said that, great weekend overall, man. Good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Yeah, well, might as well just rip the Band-Aid off. We'll get into the sports stuff right away and talk about those unfortunate things for you in a little bit here. But starting off with some Group of Five action Friday night. Nick, you want to take the first game?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's get into recap. We had number 24 UNT Mean Green playing number 20 Tulane, and man, Tulane punches their first CFP bid ever. 34-21, taking the dub, led the entire game, man. Being a North Texas native, I'm a little sad. I'm a real big fan of Messmaker up there in Denton, and I was really hoping that they'd, create some chaos, maybe hopefully punch a ticket. But man, Tulane was just that team, proven that they are, that team in the American Conference. And yeah, no, I'm excited for them. Love a good Cinderella story, obviously, every year. And of the two sort of Cinderella teams coming in this year, I'm loving that Tulane's in there. They've played well all year long, and to see them come through is something that I'm super chipper about.
Yeah, they got a little overshadowed by USF's hot start and then North Texas being undefeated for a while, but Tulane's been a really solid team throughout the
Yeah.
entire season. Kind of some ironic vindication here for Jake Retzloff, who got kicked off the BYU football program, was BYU starting quarterback last year, transferred to Tulane, punched a CFP bid, BYU, one of the first two teams out of the playoff. Crazy how that works out.
Karma's a bitch, dude. Karma's a bitch.
It's crazy. Just thinking about that, letting that soak in for a second is pretty nuts. Yeah.
That's
But
wild.
anyways,
That's
I don't think Nick got the joke. Anyways, moving on to our next Group of Five matchup that was big for playoff implications. Number 25, James Madison, who was, I think, a 23.5-point favorite, if I recall correctly. Did not cover, however, did get a big win in the Sun Belt Championship game, 31-14 over Troy. Here's the real question: is Bob Chesney, James Madison head coach, is James Madison head coach University HCU? Because you had Kurt Cignetti from a couple of years ago coming out of there, and now got IU number one seeded playoff, Big Ten champs, undefeated, national championship front runner? Question mark.
Let's settle down.
Hey, it's possible. Let's see.
No, but I like the take on Bob Chesney, dude. I think you never know. I mean, Cignetti pulled something unbelievable out with Indiana. You never know what's going to happen. UCLA just having the year that they had could use anything at this point, quite frankly. And so, shout out James Madison, man. That's another name that punched their way into the CFP. It's going to be interesting how they fare. They're making a long trip out to Oregon, so it's going to be an interesting one, man. That first round game.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll be excited for the Dukes, though.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Yeah, moving on to sort of some of the more bigger powerhouse games is what I'm going to call them. The first one was down here, the Big 12 Championship in Dallas, Texas. They played in Jerry's World, and it was number 11 BYU, and they played number 4 Texas Tech. And holy crap, the Mormons couldn't take the Texas Tundra. I called it the Tundra because it's getting colder down in Dallas, but it's not that cold, obviously. But man, Texas Tech this entire game just gave them the business, dude. Baron Morton, been a dog, has stayed a dog, and is going to probably be a dog with that first round bye that Texas Tech now gets with this win, man. And obviously, I think anyone that was watching, any Notre Dame fan that was watching this game thought that Texas Tech, BYU losing would give Notre Dame the best shot of getting in. And so for two reasons, I was rooting for Texas Tech in this game. The first one was that one, and the second one was obviously just being a Texas kid. Also, just loving Baron Morton, dude. Kid's a baller, and I'm great game overall. Texas Tech just truly, truly handling the business of the game. They had that from the jump, and I didn't expect it to be this big of a a margin for the game. If I'm being honest with you, but yeah, I thought BYU had a little more fight in them. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so to see them go down like this is a little surprising given how they've played this year. But gotta give it to the Raiders, man, coming out from Lubbock, taking the dub. Good for them, dude.
Off the bat, Nick, you just going for an all nickname episode right here. Yeah, Jerry's World and then the Texas Tundra. Wow, immaculate.
Yeah, you guys can tell me
Oh,
and Zach have been friends for a long time because I'm doing shit like this off the dome.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, this was a big one for Texas Tech. I was expecting Tech to win this game just because of how they handled BYU earlier this season. Same thing, though. I thought BYU maybe pull a little more out of their bag and be
Yeah.
able to be a little more successful in this game since it was a
Mm-hmm.
matter of making the CFP or not. But alas, here we are. It is what it is. Cougars didn't make the
Dude.
playoff, and yeah, tough scene. But Texas Tech well deserving their spot now and getting that first round bye.
Yeah, man. I love it. I'm excited to see what the Red Raiders do down the road, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next one, we got the Big Ten championship.
Big game.
Kurt Signetti, ultimate walking the talk guy ever in the history of the Big Ten, if not college football. Holy cow, what is up with this man?
Dude.
IU is terrifying. I mean, Ohio State was deemed to be a team that was a head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, and IU just hung with them. I mean, maybe not even hung with. Maybe also Ohio State hung with IU, right? I
Exactly.
mean, right? Like IU was never out of this game, stuck with it, got the win. Did get a little lucky at the end with the Ohio State
Yeah.
missed field goal to tie the game in the fourth quarter. It was a chip shot that was missed.
Yeah.
But that's the way the game goes sometimes. That still would have just tied it and sent it to overtime. And I think it was far from a far gone conclusion that Ohio State was going to for sure win then. So big time stuff
Yeah.
there for the Hoosiers.
My thoughts on this game are, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but the CFP should be very scared of this Indiana team. Like the rest of the teams should be very scared. My second thing when I saw the score was I don't think anyone thought it was going to be this low scoring. Like I thought both teams would at least punch a few touchdowns in the end zone, man. But
Mm-hmm.
also credit to their defenses, right? Credit to their defenses. Both have some of, if not the best defenses in the country. And so I'm not surprised. Like I would have thought it would have been a little more high scoring, but at the same time, hey, sometimes all you need is 3 points to win a game, dude. And so yeah, I'd be, as a Purdue fan, as an Indiana hater. It hurts to say this, but I'd be terrified to match up this team when they play. I think they play in the Rose Bowl in a couple weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who plays these guys, dude.
Yeah. This was really interesting too. I'm used to seeing Michigan State play Ohio State every year, and this is one of the few years since I can recall that they haven't done that. And it's
Yeah,
interesting to me to prove that Michigan State this year had a better offense than Ohio State because Michigan State put up 13 points against IU in Bloomington.
I,
Meanwhile, Ohio State only putting up 10 on a neutral site. Pretty crazy work right there. I mean, they should be in the
neutral
CFP at this point. 4-8 Spartans should be in the CFP.
neutral Indianapolis. I'm not gonna entertain that. Neutral
Nick would.
site
I'm
in the
being as Nick would call a jabroni right now.
a certified jabroni, one might say. I mean, technically, you can make the argument that Indiana had the home advantage, obviously, because they played in Indianapolis. But that's not that far for Ohio State to make the road trip out to. And so, yeah, man, no, well, what a game. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought Ohio State was going to handle business. Quite frankly, I thought that 1-2 was going to stay the same. Yeah, here we are, dude. Crazy things happen, man. Championship weekend.
Absolutely,
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
All right. Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia, where we had the SEC championship, where number 3 Georgia played number 9 Alabama, and mother of God, did the Bulldogs manhandle the Tide, man, 28-7. I Man, truly thought Bama had more fight in them coming into this game. Now, the last month or so, Bama's looked shaky. They've had a lot of close wins, man. They almost lost to Auburn, obviously. I think it was last weekend, and so I mean, credit to Georgia's defense for really being the dogs that they are, right? I mean, we've talked about Gunnar Stockton all year long. We've talked about this kid. You and I have joked about Stetson Bennett syndrome. Um, dare I say he's shaking it off? Dare I say he's shaking it off? I'm a huge Georgia quarterback critic. For the last few years, I've been a big Georgia quarterback critic, and I think some of it's been very warranted. But dude, man, Stockton's been that guy. 3 touchdowns to his name, bringing Georgia back to SEC glory another year. I mean, Alabama still sneaks into this college football playoffs, man. Making that SEC championship game appearance. Don't know how I feel more confident in that one than another team making the college football playoffs. But yeah, man, no, did not think this game was going to be as one-sided as it was. It was kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was pretty rough scene for Alabama. They looked like the best team in football maybe in October, and have just been kind of slowly kind of staggering along the rest of the way through the season here. So, still punching into the playoff, like you said, but I mean, they're facing Oklahoma in round one, a rematch for earlier this year. I mean,
Yeah,
John
dude.
Mateer and company could definitely knock him out. If not, whenever that game plays IU, I don't see Alabama getting past that for sure. So
yeah, I don't see it either, pal. I don't see that one happening.
Absolutely.
I know.
And then to our final Power Four conference championship game, the one that ended up having a weird level of playoff implications in terms of letting the James Madison Dukes in. That was Duke getting the surprise upset victory over the number 17 Virginia Cavaliers.
Jesus.
Virginia, what happened?
What happened?
I mean, Virginia was looking squared away. I mean, Duke isn't a team to ignore by any means. Obviously, they won the game. But I mean, Virginia was in the driver's seat. They had, they were already ranked ahead of the bottom 2 teams that ended up making the playoff. All they had to do was win this game. They're in the CFP. They're looking good. Psych.
Yeah,
Manny Diaz getting the win there for Duke.
Yeah.
Wow.
7-5 Duke going this game, mind you. 7-5 Duke.
Yeah.
Unranked Duke. And now they're the ACC champ for the year. It's nuts, man. Crazier things have happened. They're going to get a banner in the stadium. It is what it is.
This follows that whole thing I mentioned last week for my stat about the last 7-5 team to make a conference championship, that being Wisconsin. Wisconsin blew the brakes off of Nebraska in that championship game. And while Duke, it was a close one, only a 27-20 victory, did get the win. So apparently 7-5 team in a conference championship game is a team you do not want to face.
No, not a bad take. Not a bad take. And honestly, man, it's crazy. Duke was unranked. No one saw this one coming. And I think the happiest guys, like you said, were JMU coming out of this game, dude. Honestly. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess go Blue Devils, man. Never thought I'd say that one. Dude. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna switch things a little bit here, but we're gonna stick within the college football world. And we're gonna talk about the bracket that came out on Sunday morning, or Saturday morning, I should say. Was it Saturday morning or
Sunday morning?
It was Sunday morning. Might have had a few too many Guinnesses this past weekend. Let me start out by saying, folks, I am depressed. I have gone through all the different stages of grief this past weekend with my dad. And I am only surfacing this out. Let's talk about it. Biggest story coming out of college football playoff selection: the Fighting Irish were left out of the playoffs this year. Truly, I want to make a point here. Right after and I promise, my biases aside, they had Chris Fowler, Nick Saban, and Herb Street on right after to talk through the seedings and obviously the big ticket item is Notre Dame. Fowler said this might be the most controversial selection ever, just based on how the teams have been playing and all the different things that have been going on outside of with the 3 teams that were being talked about. It was Notre Dame, Miami, and Alabama. Here's the thing, right? The fundamental case that the college football selection committee made was head to head, and regardless of winning 10 straight and losing the only 2 games that they lost, losing by a total of 4 points to 2 top 10 teams, head to head going against Notre Dame at the end of it. And I think the biggest story coming, I promise, I know Zach's going to have some stuff to say about this, but the biggest thing about this and the most dramatic thing, but the thing I support being a Notre Dame fan, is the university opting out of bowl season. After I think it was less than 20 minutes after the playoffs were announced, they said we're going to sit this one out. I think it's a great statement to make. You don't disrespect the university like that. Truly, a historic university just like that. And I think yeah, it's the right call. I back it truly. I've got more thoughts on that, but I know Zach's itching to get at this, so I'll let you go, pal.
I want to start off my point by saying that the process that got to this point was foul and horrendous. The fact
Horrendous.
that they had Notre Dame in that field and Miami behind them, and then put Miami ahead of Notre Dame is ridiculous. And I will agree
Bonkers.
that the rug pull in that regard is fair to be like complaining about and ridiculous because that was obscene
Yeah.
error by the committee.
The way my
Agree with
dad
that.
phrased it, I'm going to interject real quick. The way my dad phrased it, and I think it was the best, it was this is the CFP's consolation prize to the ACC for being so bad this year. Anyway, go on.
That said, Miami should be in over Notre Dame. And it's not a question. Head to head win. I know it's in Miami. You had a head to head win though. That's a big differentiator right there. Notre
Okay.
Dame's only quality win was over USC, which, quality win, right? Miami beat Notre Dame. Are you Nick, do you think Notre Dame's a better team than USC?
Yes. You
Okay.
said USC.
So in
Yes.
terms of and then the only other like quality opponent that's even remotely quality win that Notre Dame has is Pittsburgh, who Miami beat by more and they both played Pitt in November. So pretty recent comparison there too.
Right.
Resume to resume, Miami is the better team and should be in over Notre Dame. It's not a question. It is they're like you can talk about how close a loss is, but it's still a loss nonetheless.
No, that's fair. That's fair. When you think about it from an unbiased point of view, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. I get it how
Yeah.
on paper it seems like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
also my take on it, and I know there's definitely a bias coming from me. All right, and I'm normally not like this. Well, I can be a little bit like this, but especially with Notre Dame, I can be. But I think the way they finished their season, I think that the big thing is the teams we lost to, right? I think there should be some weight to this, right? The teams we lost to were Miami, who were like number 3 in the country at the time. We lost on a field goal, and then we lost to A&M like by a point, right, at home, and they were
Mm-hmm.
also a top 10 team at the time. I won't even make the argument why we lost that game. I'm not even going to make that argument. That's a weak argument to make. But we did only lose by a point. What I'm referring to, Zach, in case you look confused, is obviously the
Which
money line.
just to clarify, Miami was well. I don't think we should base off of rankings at the time, but Miami was number 10 at the time, and A&M was 16 at the time of those losses.
I stand corrected. I thought they were well, might have been still top 20 matchups. The argument that I was going to make though is the teams that Miami lost to. All right, and they lost to pretty bad. It was unranked Louisville and unranked SMU on the road.
Oh,
That's
I'm
all
gonna have
I'm
to
saying.
disagree with you there. They only lost by 3 to a Louisville team that was ranked at multiple times this season, and in overtime to an SMU team by then one possession. I'm not saying SMU is good. I am saying Louisville is good.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
it's a less bad or it's a worse loss than any loss that Notre Dame had. But
Correct.
I don't think you should be putting
Yeah,
teams in based off of the quality of their losses.
and that's not going to be something they consider, right? Fundamentally,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, but like to circle back to your first point, right? And this is the same point my dad made. If head to head mattered as much as the CFP selection committee made it out to be this past weekend, then why the hell did it matter for the last 6 weeks when they put Notre Dame above Miami? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally, like keep us out of the top 12, but like keep your logic consistent is what the bigger story should be here, right?
Because
Yeah.
I think what the ranking was it like the week before conference championship games. I
Mm-hmm.
think they had flipped Alabama Notre Dame, so they put Alabama
Correct.
ahead of Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, was also a completely psycho move by the committee,
It was dumb.
foreshadowing what
It
would
was
happen.
dumb.
They did that so they could keep Alabama in the playoff. Just be 100%
100%.
clear. There was absolutely committee bias
Yeah.
there.
They
And then
almost lost to Auburn. Yeah.
and then from there they kept BYU in between Notre Dame and Miami. I think you got to reorder that at that point.
Yeah.
That said, this would all be resolved if they only did the rankings release at the end of the year. This whole releasing the rankings
Yeah.
throughout the year at different or like the last 5-6
Yeah.
weeks of the season, it generates that TV money, which is at the end of the day what all they care about. but it leads to all this controversy, which is also what they care about because you're getting more clicks and stuff right now.
Yeah.
So really, the CFP, the NCAA, ESPN are all getting exactly what they want right now, but it's absolutely screwing the fans.
And it's screwing the fans. It's screwing the fans. And I was talking to someone at work about this today. It's screwing the essence of college football, right? Like you're taking away from the essence of college football and like obviously into like corporate college football, right? And so yeah.
I do resume to resume. The biggest robbery is still undefeated Florida State not making the playoff the 1 year. However, process of getting there, this is the biggest robbery, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty crazy.
I still think. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit today was asked like, which is the craziest? Like he was asked like, is Florida State like you brought it up, right? So like the year that they didn't get put in, was it still a valid call? And he said yes. He said yes, and I think that's a valid call to make. Yeah. Sorry.
So, yeah, I the whole opting out of the bowl game is a little complicated to me because from the perspective of saying they kind of given the finger to again CFP, ESPN, NCAA, etc. I like that because they did them amongst other teams dirty. It does feel like a tantrum a little bit, and the whole the Notre Dame athletic director saying that the relationship with the ACC athletic director is like permanently damaged because they were advocating for the teams to make the playoff is like, okay, dude, like join a conference if you want to have an athletic director or like a conference like advocating for you. It's I don't know. It's all Notre Dame wanting to be their own special boy of being an independent, which has been working fine for them for the most part. And they now have some agreement with the NCAA that they're guaranteed if they're ranked in the top 12 that they'll make it's like a half auto bid sort of.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like, which is
if they're
really
in the top 12
weird.
Going from next year forward, it's an auto bid, I think. And so
yeah, frankly, NBC's contract with Notre Dame for all that exclusive coverage is causing all of these issues. Again, if Notre Dame just joined a conference,
but like Notre Dame was the first team to do it, right? Like they were the first team to have a TV contract as a football team in college sports, and so, that's a whole other conversation, quite frankly. But
there's been enough realignment in the meantime that they can shake things up. But but anyways, though, so that's enough Notre Dame talk. Process screwed them out of it. Questionable on opt-out, but understandable, I think, at the end of the day. Committee, do better. ESPN, stop doing everything for clicks. And congrats to James Madison and Tulane. I am personally stoked to see two Group of 5 schools in the college football playoff. I think they're probably both going to lose in the first round, but we'll see. We'll do a college football playoff preview later on.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. So, anyways, Nick, you got any other thoughts on the bracket reveal, or should we move on to our?
No, I think we're good. I mean, the biggest story was Notre Dame, right? But biggest story was Notre Dame.
Yeah. So, all right, and then that moves us on. What we would normally do, our playoff impact game of the week. We have our only college football game of the week preview, and that is the Army-Navy game. All right, baby, let's go.
All right.
The Commander-in-Chief Trophy. Let's get it. Navy, the midshipmen, 9-2, taking on the Black Knights, who are 6-5. I don't know about you, Nick. I'm expecting Navy to take the win here. They were vying for that American Conference championship at one point. Could have potentially been in the playoff themselves, which is crazy to think about. Didn't end up working out, obviously, but.
Yeah, man. This game has always been fun to watch. It's always fun to, watch Navy play Army and vice versa. Like both teams have had great years. It was interesting to watch Navy. I mean, they were ranked at one point, right? Right? Am I wrong, or was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they were. Yeah, they were ranked for a few weeks, I think.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm gonna be rooting for Navy in this game, dude. Go Navy, beat Army in this one. Go red, white, and blue. Go America. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, and this will be a big send off for Navy senior quarterback Blake Horvath, who's been really big and kind of building up that team. There was I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago when Army and Navy were both really good, and Horvath was the quarterback for Navy, and I don't remember his name. It was like Zach or Xander or something. I don't know. But for Army though, and we had like a really high caliber Army Navy game, which was awesome. So
I think that was last
Blake
year.
Horvath being the last remaining QB there from that. So that's it'll be cool to see that. Let's be a fun one.
What a guy! I watched it. So he actually couldn't play Notre Dame this year because he was injured that one game.
Mm.
But the impact that kid has on that team is night and day, quite frankly. Like
Hmm.
he's truly led them to the promised land, and then some. It's going to be interesting to see if they can bounce back next year coming out of this. But yeah,
Yeah,
love that kid.
absolutely.
Great player, great baller.
Yeah. All
All
right, and
right.
then we'll slide on over to our next segment, which is our Boomer's bold take of the week. Boomer, I'm gonna go ahead and hit us with your bold take.
So, guys, for those listening, Boomer's Bold Take has been one of my favorite things to do this year, and I we were working on the outline earlier today, and doing it at different times. And Zach hadn't seen. I thought about this like 5 seconds before we popped on a call, and I said, Zach, I got to see your live reaction, and he fell out of his chair because it was so funny. Folks, for those listening at home, I am opting out of having a bold take this year, and I'm doing it to make a statement. Um, uh, Similar to my fighting Irish, I feel disrespected this week, and I will not be making a statement. I will not be making a bold take this week as a result, and you can shove it for that.
I will say one note we didn't touch on earlier. I would be curious to hear like the seniors' perspectives for Notre
Yeah.
Dame because
Oh,
because they played their last game at this point.
yeah.
When they finished playing at Stanford a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
they figured they had at least one more game, if not several games ahead of them.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that Marcus Freeman talked to his players about it.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a little bizarre. Like that seems like to be kind of a that seems to me a more sucky ending. Like they'll regret it long term than not playing
No,
or than playing in a game that's below them.
valid. I mean, from an emotional standpoint, they did like the whole senior send off. Like to
Mm-hmm.
get like I think the Syracuse game, which was our last home game this year.
Mm-hmm.
We had the whole as per tradition, we had our old for the senior send off. In terms of playing, I totally agree. And the cool thing about bowl season is like it's also like you get to see a lot of the younger kids, like the second and third strings, your backup QBs get to play and get some reps, right? Make a name for themselves going obviously into next season and whatnot. And from that point of view, I am sad. I will say this also, selfishly, I'm really sad I won't get to see Jeremiah Love play for the Irish again this year. What a year and what a career that kid's had at Notre Dame. He's up for the Heisman. It was just announced today. He's a finalist. He's going to go to New
He should
York.
be.
He should be. He's the best running back in the freaking country. And that's the other part that sucks about Notre Dame being left out, right? Like I was hoping that Jeremiah, at least in the playoffs, could have made another could have built on that Notre Dame career he's had a pretty legendary career, and like it sucks to not see that. So I do sympathize with that. Having said that, I stand by my bold take this week. I am opting out of
Yeah.
making a statement. Um, I'll have one again when I'm not as emotionally butthurt, but and I'm not throwing a pity party for myself. But yeah, that's my bold take for the week, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a funny take. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, it
It's a
was so
statement.
good. I thought of that one on the fly, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move into our next section here. It's one of my favorite ones. Let's go into Junior's Jumbo Stat. And, buddy, what's the number for the week?
I have been waiting for this one. So folks, we're starting to
Okay.
transition our jumbo stat, bold take, Boomer Junior Blitz, all that stuff is going to be starting to transition towards basketball a bit here as football season winds down. So this will be our first basketball stat of the week. The number is 22. All right. And this is a really
Okay.
exciting one. This is something that I've been following the last few years when I'm filling out my bracket. 22 is the consecutive national champions in the NCAA tournament who were ranked in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP poll. All right. So since
My brain
2004,
hurts.
every national champion, including the 2004 national champion, which I believe is Florida, if I recall
Yeah,
correctly,
yeah, yeah.
has been ranked in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP poll. Now, this seems a little weird, a little random. However, if you think about it, it actually kind of makes sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is coming at a time teams haven't really jumped into conference play yet and
Mm-hmm.
probably haven't been battered as much by maybe some injuries and stuff, but they've played some good early season action against some quality opponents. You're seeing how some of the top teams are faring against the other top teams, right? I mean, granted, it's
Yeah.
been getting more and more like that every year, but still, even in previous years, you'd have like Maui Invitational, top teams facing each other. So teams that were having early season success against teams out of their conference be ranking in the top 12. So those teams are I don't have it written down. I'm just gonna try to riff them. Arizona, Michigan, UConn, Duke, Iowa State, Purdue, Houston, Michigan State,
Go on.
Louisville. What's that?
I said, go on. Go off the dome.
That's all I got at the moment. I think that's 10. So there's a couple more there I'm missing. I forgot to write them down, like I said. But yeah,
Go off,
those are the
Jackie.
schools. When you're picking out your bracket, those are the 12 schools that have a chance of winning the national championship. Quick thing, too, if 2004, going back to then, isn't enough for you. Also, all of the national champs since 1990 fit this category, except for the 2003 Carmelo Anthony-led Syracuse Orange. So there
Yeah,
you go.
man.
There's your juniors jumbo stat of the week.
That one might be your freakiest one. I'm not gonna lie. That one hurt my brain. It's been a long week. All right. Love that. Go numbers.
All right.
We're gonna switch into Blitz here, folks. We got Boomer Junior Blitz, and like Zach mentioned, we're obviously, as Zach has phrased for many years now, the best time of year, aka basketball and football going on at the same time. But this week's Blitz, we're gonna be transitioning and it's gonna be basketball games, and so we're looking ahead into sort of like the games we've got upcoming, like in the upcoming week. And I'm gonna kick us off here. We got some Big Ten action. We got the number 13 Illini, the Fighting Illini of Illinois, going into Columbus to play Ohio State. And Illinois, we've talked about this team a little bit this year, man. They've got that, what we like to call the Eastern European wall of those big Eastern European dudes. They're currently favored by 3.5. They've had a good year so far. They lost to Alabama a few weeks ago, a really, really, really good looking Alabama team, and it was at home, and that sucked for them. But they're still making a case to be a good team, especially in the Big Ten, right behind Purdue, Michigan, Michigan State. In my opinion, I'm going with the line on this one, dude. The line's at 3.5, and I think Illinois should come out of this with a win by, if not, probably in double digits, in my opinion. If they, I don't know how Ohio State's been doing this well, but it doesn't sound like they're making much of a ruckus, and so I'm going with Illinois on this one, dude.
Yeah, I think the only thing is maybe to look at a road environment if anything happens
Mm,
working for Ohio State's favor there. Other than that, though, neutral site or a home game for the Illini, I think this is a no question Illinois
no
cover. Yeah.
question.
I'm going to go ahead and stick in for a Big Ten team, however, not a completely Big Ten matchup. Got
Fair.
Villanova at number 2, Michigan. I don't want to glaze Michigan too much because it's against my blood with my Michigan State shirt, but minus 15.5 against an Villanova team seems like a no-brainer, so I'll go with the Wolverines there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I saw this pick on the outline. I thought Zach was probably odd on something, but oh well, here we are. All right, we got a top 20 matchup for my next pick in Blitz. It's number 18 Florida going into Connecticut to play number 5 UConn. Both these teams having great success in the last few years. The last two champions, now that I think about it, we had Florida win this past year and UConn win the year before
Technically the
against my own.
last 3 because of UConn's back-to-back.
I'm not going to give UConn that credit. I don't like that team. They made me experience one of the saddest days of my life last year in person out in Arizona. But having said that, I'm going with UConn on this one, man. Dan Hurley coaches that team up so well. I think this is going to be close. I think this might be within like 10 points or less. But I think Dan Hurley's UConn men are going to come out with the win on this one, dude.
Nick, I'm going to take us on a complete side tangent here.
Okay.
Folks listening in, we might have mentioned this before, I'm not sure though, but Nick and I actually went to the 2024 Final Four when Purdue was playing in it. And
Yeah.
while I didn't stay for the championship game, I thought they were going to lose to UConn, so I left
Yeah.
early. I did see
Yeah.
the semifinal matchup though. Nick, how crazy would it be if we get our Boilermakers back or something and we're able to work our way into getting to a Final Four again, do a little
We're doing
live
it.
podcast coverage on the scene? That'd be kind of crazy.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. Oh my, Zach. Okay, for that reason alone, Purdue's got to make it. I feel for that reason alone, Purdue's got to make it. I feel like we're gonna have all the boys out, all the old boys from college. Oh my god, we
Yeah.
could have like a Grant Gunderson or a Brian Denmark shout out to the boys appearance on the pod.
Yeah.
Shout out on the pod. Get some wild takes. All right, that'll be fun. Oh my.
Yeah, so just a little hypothetical. We might be looking for some on-site Boomer and Junior podcast recordings here in the future. So,
Never
anyways,
know.
back to our regularly scheduled programming. My next pick is going to be Clemson at number 10, BYU.
Mm-hmm.
I think AJ DeBanza is a fraud. Give me Clemson plus 6.5. Now, I'm joking around a little bit. He's a good kid. I'm exaggerating a bit with the fraud. I will say he does give me Imani Bates vibes. For those of you who aren't familiar, Imani Bates, was on cover of Sports Illustrated as like a 16-year-old,
I
was
remember
supposed to
this.
be like the next LeBron. I definitely am not biased, but he committed to Michigan State and then decommitted. Started my distaste for Penny Hardaway by
Penny
committing to Penny
Hardaway.
Hardaway's Memphis Tigers. Did terrible there and also got suspended, I think, for recruiting violations and then
Yeah.
transferred to Eastern Michigan. Did okay on a bad team and is now just floating around the G League, I believe. So, anyways, he gives me kind of that vibe a little bit. He seems naturally talented like Imani, but doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't seem like he has the work ethic. I don't know. Just, all vibes based, but
I agree on that take. I still think he's a level above Imani, if that makes sense. He's fully carrying that BYU team on his back, in my opinion. But oh well. Great take though. I like that. All right, we're gonna switch back into Big Ten action. A Big Ten graduate going for a Big Ten game. What a shocker. We got Penn State going into Bloomington to play not even ranked Indiana. And I actually don't know how Penn State's doing it all this year, but having said that, they've not been a powerhouse in terms of basketball ever. So I'm going with my gut here. Unfortunately, it's for a team that I hate with my life, and I'm going with the Hoosiers for this game. The spread's at 13.5, and so like I wouldn't be surprised if the Hoosiers came out with the win here.
Hoosiers.
Yeah, never coming out of my mouth. Go boys.
I figured as such, yeah. For
boys.
my final pick, I'll also stick with a Big Ten team, at least a Big Ten team playing in said game. Got University of Southern California, the Trojans, coming down to my, I guess not hometown, but where I live though, San Diego, playing at the University of San Diego Toreros. That's right. That FCS football program is D1 in the WCC for basketball, baby.
Oh
Give me the Toreros plus 16.5. This squad is feisty. I dig them big time. USC, mid. Toreros to cover.
That's the dumbest thing you might have said on the entire podcast.
That's a pretty high bar. I've said a lot of dumb stuff.
That's fair, dog. That's fair. Now Zach put this one in the outline, guys, and I was like, that might be the dumbest thing you've ever put down. But oh well. All right.
I'm gonna keep the receipts for that one. When the Toreros cover, actually, I'll bring it up either way next week. If the Toreros cover or if they don't, and I'll
if the Toreros cover, guys, if the Toreros cover, and Zach's gonna drop his mouth when I say this, I will shave my beard. I will shave my beard if
they cover.
Not cover. Sorry.
If they win.
Let me take them. If they win, I will shave my beard. That reaction, by the way, folks, for those that are listening, my beard is roughly like half of my personality. I feel maybe a little bit more.
Pretty big portion.
I've not been clean shaved in the better half of 3 years, and I'm just riffing off the bat here. I trust the Trojans that much. We'll see what happens. I might have to watch this game now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm feeling pretty invested too. I don't think I'll be able to go to the game. I've got a big work presentation on Wednesday, so I don't think a Tuesday night matchup is gonna make sense for me to go to in person. But I might try to get it on the background while I'm prepping.
I swear to God, I just said that. All right, here we go.
We'll open it up to exposure, baby. We love it. All right.
I did do that.
Well, we'll keep on college basketball action. We'll do a recap of last week's games. Starting off, just a quick little overview. This past week was the ACC-SEC Challenge. This is, of course, taking place last few years, ever since the Big Ten severed all ties with ESPN. Used to be the glorious Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Yeah.
This is a sad replacement of whatever. I'm joking. I'm completely biased. This is a lot of great matchups.
I'm not, but okay.
Last year, the story was SEC dominating the ACC, which for Nick and I's lives, ACC has kind of been the dominant conference of college basketball. 100%. Since 2020 hit, though, SEC really taken some big steps up. Anyways, though, so after being demolished 14-2 last year, the ACC led 6-3 after Tuesday night. And the SEC still managed to win the challenge. They finished 9-7, so they went, 6-1, I guess, then on Wednesday night?
Yeah, dude.
Southeastern Conference, baby.
Not shocked about it, man. The SEC teams have just looked unreal the last few years, and the ACC have kind of lost their momentum. And so I thought this year might be a good bounce back year for them. Truly, I mean, you got teams like Duke in there. Duke's looking real good this year again, man. Led by the Boozer twins. And so I thought maybe, but oh well, dude. I mean, go SEC still being those dogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
One of the ACC teams that did not hurt their hopes was the North Carolina Tar Heels, who got a road victory at the number 18 Kentucky Wildcats. Close one, though, 67-64. This one was tied at half, and North Carolina doing just enough in the second half to get the victory. True freshman standout Caleb Willison, another great game, another double-double, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block, filling up that stat sheet big time.
Dude.
And the other main storyline here was Kentucky ice cold shooting from behind the 3-point line.
Oof.
Only 1 for 13 on the night.
Yeah, I can see those boys doing laps in the morning. That's not pretty, man. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't catch this game, but I'm also not surprised that UNC pulled it off. They're looking a little better than last year. I mean, obviously only won by 3, but I guess they might have just caught Kentucky on a bad week. But oh well.
Road win though. Road win. True road win.
Road win is impressive. Road win at Kentucky is impressive.
Yeah.
No team wants to go play Kentucky in Kentucky. Next thing we're gonna move on to is we're sticking in the it's a little bit of SEC ACC action. We got number 6 Louisville going into Arkansas to play Calipari's men and losing 89-80, man. Now, this gives Louisville their first L on the season, and this team is really led by a lot of guys on Arkansas that had double figures, man. They had Draven Brazil, really, the guy himself, right? 21 on his own. High scoring game. I thought this one might stick in the 60s, I thought 60s would probably be a good estimate for this, man. But holy, they ran this game up, dude, man. I've always been a Calipari guy. I think he's always been a great coach in my opinion. And now granted, Arkansas has not had the year they would have thought they'd have. They're still ranked, obviously, but I think they had a lot of high hopes for this team. Having said that, man, go Calipari. Louisville, can't believe they took their first L on the year. They're looking great, but here we are.
Yeah, you're talking about those high hopes for Arkansas coming into the season. I think this is maybe revitalizing some of those. I'm not gonna lie, Michigan State beat them early on in the season, and then Arkansas proceeded to beat Winthrop by 1. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a quad 2, quad 3 win. Gosh dang it! But Arkansas bouncing back though, managed to stay ranked, getting enough wins along the way, and then a statement victory over a top 10 team in the ACC-SEC challenge, big time.
Yeah, it's going to bump them up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another team in this whole challenge was the Duke Blue Devils, who hosted the reigning national champion Florida Gators, number 15 Gators. Barely got the victory, 67-66. Cam Boozer, star freshman, 29 points and 6 rebounds. I think I saw he's already got the most 35-plus point games for a true freshman in Duke history, and that was through 9 games so far in the season. So crazy work by him, just filling up the bucket. And then conversely, on the Florida side, Thomas Hogg and Boogie Flynn combined for 40 points in this game, and the rest of the team just could not buy a bucket, right? These two guys combined for 60% of their points, and it's just a bummer, really. I mean, the rest of the team, I don't think anybody had more than 6 points, and it was just horrendous shooting percentages. So just need other guys to make any type of buckets.
Yeah, man. No, I've said this for all of basketball season so far, man. Cam Boozer is a scary freshman, dude. Offensively, just aggressive, and it's proven in how much he puts up every single game, dude. Would not be shocked if he went high next year in the draft, quite frankly.
Oh yeah, he'll be a top 3 pick for sure. Although he was getting shut down in Duke's other game this past week, which was at the number 7 Michigan State Spartans. Held to 2 points in the first half, and it was a lucky offensive, well, maybe not lucky, but right place, right time offensive rebound that he's able to get in for a putback. But other than that, scoreless in the first half, which I'm pretty sure would have been the first time this season he was scoreless in a half.
Crazy.
However, ended up finishing the game, though, with 18 points and 15 rebounds.
Unreal.
Big time numbers for him against a really great rebounding Spartan team. Carson Cooper, a former 0-star recruit out of IMG Academy, guy who could not grab the ball if he had glue on his hands as a freshman. Career day, 16 points, 16 rebounds. So obviously came in a Michigan State loss, but love to see the growth and development from him.
Yeah.
Really happy that his career is shaped up so well.
Yeah, all I was gonna say on this one is it's crazy that an 18-point game for a freshman is like a shitty game for him.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think and I think that's and I think to turn around and score 16 points in that second half is a testament. I might sound like the biggest Boozer bandwagon right now, but I'm sticking on him, and dude, he's good. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Mm-hmm. My
Yeah.
final note on this game: Jeremy Fears, best distributor in the country, 13 assists in this game. Great stuff by our floor general. A lot of people were giving him some flack online. He did not shoot the ball well, which
Mm.
is fair. He did not from the floor. He was not particularly good. However, I think more of the blame needs to go on the shooting guards. Jordan Scott off the bench ended up having some good buckets, but
Mm.
Kerr Tang starting 0 for 5 from the field. Trey
Oof.
Ford, I think, only even attempted a couple baskets, only made one of them. Michigan
Oof.
State really needs more production from the 2 spot. Even
Yeah.
doesn't even have to quite be three. Like ideally, we want more 3-point shooting, but doesn't
Yeah.
even have to be from the 3-point line. Just any type of production from them, so
Get your
that way
field
they're not just
goals.
on the court to defend.
Get your field goals in, man. Get those.
Yeah.
You got to score within the perimeter. I mean, that's you talk to any coach. Score from inside the perimeter, dude. Like that's key.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, Izzo's gonna have these guys really just running laps and figuring out what the hell happened in this game, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I love this next one. Anytime I get a diss on the Indiana Hoosiers, it's the best. And boy, is this a diss track today, folks. You know, there's a saying, 2 L's make a W. They say that. But in this case, 2 L's. There's still 2 L's, baby. There's still 2 L's, all right? Illinois losing to freaking Minnesota on the road, 73-64. Minnesota, who? No, dude, what like IU for all the praise they get, all the much they talk about their basketball team, all the success that they've had. Wompity wompity. You took an L to Minnesota on the road. I don't want to hear it. All right, fine. I'll give them the next credit. I'll give them a little bit of credit on this next one. They lost to a top 10 team against Louisville on the road, 87-78. Put up a decent amount of points, but boo-hoo, Indiana. What happened? Oh, that sucks. That really sucks, guys. I will always happily diss on IU. Go Boilers. What the
Notre
is a
Dame getting
Hoosier?
left out of the playoff has Nick Baby talking about IU basketball. This is a whole level I didn't know was a thing.
Guys, it's been an emotional week. It's been an emotional weekend. And I need to take my emotions out on some team, and this is that team that I'm okay with. I'm okay
Fair
with.
enough. Yeah, they give you plenty to be taking it out on. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
definitely not a great week for the Hoosiers
yeah,
in basketball. In basketball.
yeah. Who would have thought that
um,
would be a thing? By the way, who would have thought that would be a thing?
I
Like,
saw something that was like, yeah, like who with IU fans would you trade the like death of your basketball program for a football national championship? Because that's kind of what it looks like right now.
oh man, to even be in that position, oh my god, that's privilege for you,
Crazy,
dude. Jesus.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh man.
Over to another ranked squad, even ranked a little bit higher at number 13, that took
Yeah.
2 losses this week. The Tennessee Volunteers. Oh my gosh, it was a rough one for them. First
Yeah.
off, they lose 62-60 to Syracuse, which I will give them credit for. I've watched Syracuse. This is a wildly underrated squad. I
Extremely.
would not want to play this team at any point of the
Extremely.
season, particularly in
Yeah.
March.
Keon Anthony. Yeah.
Just yeah, him. Is it Darius Starling? I think too. Just really great squad, really great guards. Uh, Again, I'm not saying like they're not a national championship contender per se, but honestly, I think they have the capability to beat on like a random night any team in the country.
Yeah.
I don't think they can string 6 of those together, but they have that upward ceiling. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
big win for the Orange there, and devastating loss for the Orange Volunteers. Uh, and then speaking of Orange teams, we got a whole bunch of Orange because the other team Tennessee played was the Fighting Illini, number 14
Yeah.
Illinois, losing 75-62 in that one as well. This is a big win for Illinois, who's had a
Yeah.
pretty solid non-conference slate. Like been high caliber matchups, but
Yeah.
just mixed successive wins versus losses. So this was a good one for them to finish up with kind of their final signature game there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have much to add to this one, but yeah, no, it's Tennessee historically in the last few years has been a really good program basketball wise. Um, Question mark on if it's a down year for them. Who knows? Yeah. Guys, it wouldn't be the Boomer Jr. CBB recap if Boomer wasn't talking about his Boilers. We're going to cover the Iowa State-Purdue game here. But before I do that, Zach, I got to ask you a question, and you can say no. Do I have permission to curse on a podcast?
You've already cursed multiple times this episode.
Okay.
Oh, nah, it's Christmas season,
Okay.
dog. I wouldn't drop it. I wouldn't drop
That's
it.
fine. That's fine. I don't want to get a text from Zach's mom that I cursed on the podcast, so I will be refraining. But I'm going to say, Boilers, what the bleep, dude?
Grinch. What the Grinch happened?
What the Grinch? Let's keep it festive. What the Grinch, guys? Iowa State, the Cyclones going into West Lafayette and winning 81-58. For my listeners at home, I was at brunch with my parents, a little bit inebriated on that. I was supposed to inebriated on Sunday morning, but I didn't get to watch the Purdue game because I thought you'd have this one handled. I knew you were down 4 at the half. I was like, well, we'll be fine, right? I go to brunch and I'm sitting next to my dad, and he goes, "Hey, you guys lost today, right?" And I'm like audibly in this restaurant scream, "What?" Guys, Purdue lost 81-58 in Mackey Arena. Granted, top 10 matchup, but I don't think anyone saw this one coming, quite frankly.
Biggest loss in Mackey Arena history.
Is it really? Oh my God, it probably is. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, big guy scoring on this in this game is Milan Momcilovic. I think I'm saying his name right, but I think it's cool that his name's got mom in it. But yeah, 20 points for the Cyclones. Key stories on this one, man. Purdue going 4 for 18 from the 3 at home is nothing like Purdue, and you know, like that's their moneymaker, right? Scoring threes at home. Yeah, I think Fletcher Lawyer had 5 points in this game, dude, which is like a classic like road showing for the kid. My one a key takeaway from this one, man, for me personally, and I've talked about this guy a little bit on the pod, is Oscar Clough. I have concerns around Oscar Clough and his place in the starting lineup. He was a very high touted like transfer for, you know, coming out of the transfer portal last year. And he's built some reps up with the team at this point, but he's just not like, he had the same amount of points as, you know, sophomore, I guess freshman still, Daniel Jacobson on the bench, and he had like almost 10 more minutes on him. And so it's like it didn't have that much more production like in terms of rebounds or blocks and things like that. And so I've got concerns. Maybe it's early jitters, but still, man, I have no idea what happened in this game in terms of like strategy. Like I have no idea how Paint goes out of this game and talks about this to the team. Hoping it's just a blip for us. And honestly, as a guy who's rooted for Purdue basketball for a while now, personally, I actually kind of like taking an L early in the year. I don't like us being anywhere close to the number 1 spot, right? We've done a lot better not being around that, not having a target on our backs. And so, yeah, what the hell, guys? Like, what happened? All right, I'm done ranting.
Yeah, for this Purdue team, they in my opinion, they don't quite have enough dynamic playmaking to win a national championship. They're built to win conference championships, not national championships. Don't get me wrong, Braden Smith is him. He's got that in him. TKR, close. They just don't quite have enough to. That's just again my opinion how it's been. And we'll see. They could prove me wrong. They've been close. Honestly, I was shocked when they made it to the national championship game. Maybe not shocked. Pleasantly surprised when they made it to the national championship game a couple years ago. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe Matt Painter can prove me wrong. But I think this comes down to the recruiting, in my opinion. He recruits good players who play well in the role, but you need players that can break a game.
100%.
And he doesn't 100%. Really quite get those guys too often.
Yeah, crazy weird one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Did not think we were gonna lose and not lose this bad. Yeah. That was sad to see.
Yeah, it was a big loss. Purdue's not gonna shoot that poorly from 3 probably the rest of the season. I think they're still front runner. Michigan might be 1A, Purdue 1B, like just a little bit of a gap between them for front runner for Big Ten championship. Okay. But Purdue is absolutely like at the top tier of that race. I think those two teams are the top qualifiers for that, and that's coming from a Michigan State fan. I expect one of those two to win it. So we'll see. Speaking of Michigan, big win for them, sticking on their hot streak. 41-point victory with a 101-60 win over Rutgers. 45 points off the bench for the Wolverines. They just keep chopping. We'll see if they're maybe shining a little too bright right now, and if they can keep, and if they maybe aren't able to sustain this level of success. But as of right now, it seems like nobody can stop this team and even get remotely close.
Yeah, man, they're looking scary. Dropped a 40-point difference on Rutgers, man. Obviously, Rutgers is not having a great year as they normally do, but yeah, no, crazy stuff. 45 points off the bench for the Wolverines, man. Like, that was nuts. Yeah, let's wrap up on CB preview. We had one more game to talk about. We had number 20 Auburn going into number 2 Arizona. We talked a little bit about this in preview last week. Having said that, did not think the margin was going to be this stiff, like this high. Jahad Pettiford with 30 points for Auburn, man, but still losing the game, which is crazy. Kobe doing the thing, 18 points to his name, 4 rebounds. Dude, I was a skeptic, obviously, being a Purdue guy. Not a skeptic of Arizona's caliber, but I was a skeptic of who was better of the 1 and 2. Yeah, man. Right now, as it stands, obviously Purdue just took a big L, but like, Zona's the team to beat, man. I think Zona's the team to beat. Crazy, well-rounded. They're led by a crazy guy in Kobe. Would not be surprised if they went all the way. They're the team to beat. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who won the national championship last year?
Florida.
There we go. That's right. Last year, it didn't really quite feel like, I don't know. It felt like the national championship was going to fall in someone's lap, and there was, teams this year feel more deserving. This higher caliber of teams, your Michigan, Arizona, Duke, like these teams, UConn even, I'll throw in that category.
Sure.
Like, and you've got some teams right behind them too that all feel pretty elite too. But these, I don't know, something about this year, it seems like that top level of talent and competition has improved. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking at this point in the season. That'll change later on. But as things stand right now, this seems like it's going to be a very exciting, very competitive March.
Yeah, man. And as someone who loves March basketball, I'm excited to hear it.
Yes, sir.
All right. As usual, we're going to flip over into our preview for games this upcoming week. Zach, kick us off, pal.
Yeah, our first one's a neutral site in Madison Square Garden where UConn loves to play, apparently. Yeah, number 18 Florida traveling up there to play the number 5 UConn Huskies. Florida trying to prove that they're alive and have a pulse. Obviously, they're still doing solid on the year, still a ranked team, but falling short in some of these maybe bigger games, which ended up being the top tier teams. But yeah, this would be a big win for them if they can get that over UConn. Conversely, UConn trying to continue to prove that they're in that top tier of teams, along with those national title contenders that I just hypothesized about a second ago.
Yeah, man. No, I like that. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. This is not UConn's first game at Madison Square Garden this year. I think they played Illinois.
I think it's like their second because they played Illinois there. I thought they didn't. Did they play BYU? No, they played BYU in Boston, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but they definitely played another team in Madison Square Garden, though.
Yeah. Hey, man, those Northeast professional arenas just love UConn, I guess, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk through Purdue's games this week, folks. Minnesota's coming into West Lafayette this week. And big thing is Purdue's looking to bounce back after an embarrassing loss at home. Really, I think the key, and I mentioned this, the key takeaway is just how bad our three-point shooting was. And it's just, that's not historically not been a thing for us at home. And so really just we got to fix that and turn that around. Bigger game, I think, in my opinion, though, this week for the Boilers is Marquette's coming into town. Marquette's 5-5 on the year. And on paper should be a win for Purdue, right? But you never know with a team led by Shaka Smart. You never know. And I think a guy to watch out for on Marquette, who's been really good this year, is Chase Ross. He's averaging 19.5 points a game. And I think he's also leading in rebounds, if I'm not wrong. And so, the guy to watch out for, got to look out for. You're going to have to put someone big on him. And so, big week, at least, I think, semi-big week for the Boilers, I will say. Should be, if they're good about it, if they prep well, they should take 2 wins at home. We'll see.
I think this is a good opportunity for 2 get-right games for Purdue. These aren't cupcake games. Obviously, Minnesota just upset IU. So these aren't for sure wins by any means. So they are going to challenge them a bit. But Purdue should win these games, though. And assuming they do win those games, these will be some good confidence boosters to get them rolling as they get fully into Big Ten play here shortly.
100%.
Our next game, great rivalry. We had an interesting, albeit low-scoring one in football earlier this year, but the Cy-Hawk rivalry. Iowa playing at number 4 Iowa State. This is one that, on paper, Iowa State just had that huge win, like we talked about, against Purdue. Iowa State's still undefeated on the year. Went undefeated in Players Era. Didn't get to play in that championship game because of point differential and all the BS there is with the Players Era festival. But yeah, Iowa State playing really well so far this year, no losses, like I said. But watch out for Bennett Sturts and company, the transfer into Iowa. See if they can do something crazy in this game. I do think Iowa State will probably still take the W here, but Ben McCollum is going to be seriously motivated to get another shot to prove himself against a top 10 team. They fell to Michigan State this past week, so this will be a time, there'll be another shot at that. And this is a team they're going to be familiar with too, right? Bennett Sturts, Ben McCollum coming in from another school in Iowa, and so they know all about Iowa State, I'm sure. So watch for this one to be a pretty exciting game and high scoring
Yeah, I love
too.
it. High scoring for sure. I love that. This is gonna be a fun one to watch. It's gonna be a fun one to watch fundamentally.
Absolutely.
All right, we got some Big 12 SEC action. We got number 17 Arkansas going into Lubbock, Texas, to play number 16 Texas Tech. Both teams that have had been good over the last few years. Both are 7-2 on this year, and they really just need another signature win to head it as they're going into conference play. Big guy, but like JT Toppin on Tech, man, he's scoring more than 20 points a game right now, every single game, and like he's averaging 11 rebounds every single game, and so he's trying to build on that. Right, one of the better All-Americans this year. Would not be surprised if he really gives Arkansas the business this week at home, man. Should be a good one to watch.
Absolutely. Next one in Big Ten, Terry, we have number 23 undefeated Nebraska. That's right. Wow. Cornhuskers undefeated right now. Fred Hoiberg squad. Oh, baby, let's go. We'd love me some undefeated Nebraska ball.
I hate that.
Going into Champaign, though, to take on the number 13 Illini. This will be a good matchup. This will be Nebraska's by far toughest test of the season. I believe they whooped on Creighton already earlier this year, but Creighton, unlike what they were like a decade ago or whatever, just been getting like tossed around this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how this game goes. I would expect the Illini to get the victory here, but we'll see. Maybe Nebraska's legit.
Nebraska ball might be one of the goofiest things you've said on this podcast. Put that down on the Zach list for crying out loud. We got number 19 Kansas playing NC State on the road, folks, this upcoming week. Both these teams have a few losses in the year. NC State's obviously not ranked. I think the big question is how will Darren Peterson do in another ACC hostile road environment? NC State, 2 years ago, made the Final Four. And it's weird to say 2 years, even though it was a year and a half ago. But, made the Final Four, right? And that environment is crazy to play in. They're a loud bunch. And so is Kansas going to, can Kansas really be the caliber that they always have talked about, right? And so we'll see, man. Going to be a big, tough road game for Kansas. So I'm curious to see. I can't really even pick who'd win this one, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think that road environment is going to be playing a major factor here. This should be a fun one. We'll see how NC State's heralded transfer class is able to handle the Jayhawks. I would love to see Trey Holloman, the Michigan State transfer, lined up against Darren Peterson defensively all day. Trey Holloman's a dog of a defender, long arms and stuff, very athletic. I think it'd be a great one-on-one matchup to watch.
Yeah, love it, dude.
Another game we got number 25 UCLA making the trip up to Spokane to play at number 12 Gonzaga.
Beautiful Spokane.
They did not have a line for this game at the recording of this podcast, but whatever the spread is, though, I don't care if it's 50, take the Zags. Yeah. All right. UCLA has been uninspiring this year, in my opinion. They've had some opportunities to prove themselves and been like, meanwhile, Gonzaga running through everybody pretty much except for Michigan, who has actually been running through everybody. Yeah. I don't expect the Bruins to get the road win here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man. would be surprised if Zags win. Home game against, like you said, a pretty meh UCLA team. I had higher hopes for them coming into the year, as everyone does pretty much for UCLA, but as they've done the last 10 years or
And
so.
and we'll see too. They've got a decent amount of transfers on that team, so UCLA might still be gelling a bit and piece it
Yeah,
together as the season goes on. But as of right now, kind of dicey.
yeah, it can be hard. It's hard. It's a hard environment to play into, playing college basketball up there. But no, well. And let's wrap up on TV preview. We got one last game. We've got the number one Arizona team in the country, going all the way out to Tuscaloosa to play number 12 Alabama. Man, Wildcats are red hot this year, dude. And Alabama is still proving like that they're in the fight. You know what I mean? They're still proving to be a top 10 team, still proving to build on the success they've had in the last few years. And I think they've got this is not me playing biases against Arizona. I don't really have any biases against Arizona, quite frankly. But having said that, love an underdog story when my Purdue Boilers aren't playing. And I want to see Bama take this one. They lost to Purdue at home. Having said that, this is a great chance for them to reclaim that, potentially beating off a number one team at home, dude. And so, yeah, I mean, can Bama knock off Wildcats, who are so red hot this year, man? It's ridiculous. Who knows? We'll see. I'm actually going to go with Bama on this one. I love to see it.
Nice. Yeah, we'll see. This should be another really high scoring, really fun one to watch. We'll see who ends up getting that victory there.
Big, big, big stuff.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, well, yeah, that goes ahead and wraps up our episode. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in as always. Per usual, make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review on the YouTube and Spotify, wherever you're listening. Feel free to email us questions and feedback at our email, officialboomerandjunior@gmail.com. Make sure to check out our social media, too. Like I said, we've got the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook posting some updates there, too. Make sure to check those out, get updates and stuff and some bonus content. Yeah.
Yeah. Come check us out, folks. We always love it. We always love the interaction. It's always fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thanks for everyone. Go Navy, beat Army, and
Go
have a
Navy,
good
beat
one.
Army. Bye.
Bye.